All right, so welcome to Ink and Think.
Where we let people be their authentic selves.
And we've got the beautiful Raman Chohan here today, owner, business owner, commercial banker, ex-commercial banker, business owner, educator, jet set life, multifaceted, multi-talented.
It's fun.
And and a lover of ink. So
I am a lover of ink. While I was
You kind of belong on Ink and Think.
right? Yeah. Okay, so I was telling my husband before I got here, I'm like, you know what, Nathan? I need something where I can show off my tattoos. I'm like,
we
it's
do that all the
Ink and
time.
Think.
We do that all the time. I have a conversation with him in the morning. Like, hey,
Yeah.
what are you gonna wear today?
Yeah.
So like we're somewhat coordinated, and
Right?
like we gotta
You
make sure
have
the
to.
tattoos.
So why are
are
you wearing
showing.
sleeves today?
I don't know. It was cold outside.
Jackets. Wear a jacket.
Yes. So Raman, tell us a little bit about yourself. What are the businesses? Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, so most of my life was me being a commercial banker. I was raised up by the banking system. I started when I was 17 thinking I'm going to become an optometrist, but that never happened. My dad would take me to all his business lunches and they'd be like, no, we don't see you in sciences and optometry. We see you in business. I'm like, nope, I'm going to become an optometrist. And what changed my mind was, so I'm a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
But to become an optometrist, so I'm 38. So let's say, almost 20 years ago, I realized to become an optometrist, I need to either go to University of Waterloo or be somewhere in the States. And that was just not going to happen.
Not an option. You didn't want to leave.
No, I'm daddy's girl. Just wasn't going to happen. So then I switched over into business. And then I was a teller at a bank.
Okay.
I'd get in trouble because I used to always be bored by like leaning over and etc. Like it just wasn't my place. But then I just grew up within the bank, and then personal banking was boring.
Yeah.
I wanted to do big, so I ended up being in commercial banking.
So what were you doing with commercial banking? Loans?
Yeah, loans.
Mortgages?
At the end of my career, I worked with businesses that made anywhere from minimum $10 million to $25 million a year.
Awesome.
So big, and
yeah.
it was just a man's world.
Yeah, it's a boys' club there, right?
I did the bank whole progression
Yeah.
thing too. So I started as a teller, account manager, all that stuff. So that there's a lot to talk about there. But going back, was your dad an eye doctor or?
No,
an
my
optometry?
dad had a janitorial company.
So where did the optometry stem from?
I don't know. Let's go back. Being Indian, being Punjabi, you always had to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or something. But my dad raised his women very differently.
Yeah.
I did my thing. My middle sister's a mechanic. My little sister's a hairdresser. And then I realized, no, I don't have to be that because my dad doesn't care.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how was your mom with all that?
Yeah, my mom, she knows we're daddy's girls.
How did she feel about that?
She takes a
She
back
hates
seat.
it. She absolutely hates it,
Yeah.
right? But she's always had to be okay with it because we were way too strong for her not to be okay with it.
Now, what did Dad do? Because I'm a father now of a daughter. What did he do to make it like? Was he around you all the time? Like, how did you become a daddy's girl? Was he constantly around, or was it that when he was around, he made that impact into your life?
When he was around, he made that impact.
So
on
he
our
wasn't
lives.
always around. Because I battle with that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I right now I only spend like 2 to maybe 3 hours with my daughter at most, right? And it's kind of hard because you want to spend more time, but at the end of the day, I need to make money, right?
Right.
I need to work.
Because why do we work? I hate the word work, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But why do we put in that effort to make income?
Yeah.
Because we need it to
We need it
survive.
to survive,
And
absolutely.
we all want certain lifestyles. And our parents wanted those lifestyles. They were immigrants. They had no choice but not to work that much. But whenever he was there was an impact. Whether that was coming home at 5 a.m, waking me and my middle sister up and we're born in East Van, so waking up and running laps at Killarney.
Oh, wow,
Or
yeah.
taking us to the gym, right?
Awesome.
That's how we made the impact because he had an hour in the morning with us.
Okay, so
and how was he going to do this?
And the rest of the time, he was being a business owner and working.
Working, yeah,
Good
right.
for you. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Was your mom home most of the time then?
No, my mom also worked. So they worked because they had a janitorial company. They always worked together. So my mom and dad would come home like at 5 or 6 in the morning. Mom would make breakfast, and my dad would take
you
us
ready
out
for
for
the
a
day.
run or
Yeah.
to run through for a quick workout, come home, eat, send us to school.
And that was like early on. Like how old?
Up until probably 15.
Wow. So
Right.
he heavily introduced working out and fitness into your life at an
Always.
early
Yes.
age,
You know,
which is unseen with
routine.
East Indian women.
Yeah.
And unseen at that age. That's the first time I've heard of it
Right.
at that age. That's awesome, especially those earlier workouts.
I think those were my dad's trauma. Sorry to cut you off,
problem.
because everyone always told him, "You need a son. You need a son."
Yeah.
And being that generation,
course,
having
yeah.
a boy was extremely important. So
Yeah.
he needed to raise his 3 girls and say, I told you so to people.
Yeah.
In what way though? Like he needed to raise the girls to be strong and independent,
Yeah.
and that's like his way of saying, hey, they're better than a boy.
Better than a boy, or
Yeah,
just as good.
or,
Yeah.
or the same.
Yeah.
Right? Because we used to have like old grandparents coming in Punjabi saying, Kudiyan meat nahi khandiyan.
Yeah.
Don't feed your girls meat. My dad's like, who are you?
Yeah.
You know, just weird things. You know, girls don't dance. We used to dance, like Bollywood dancing this, you know.
You guys go to the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
right?
And my wife is a daughter of she's got 2 sisters
Yes.
as well, so similar type of story.
Yeah.
And same thing. My father-in-law loves her 3 daughters.
Yeah.
Doesn't care if he had a son. He's like, I got 3 amazing daughters,
Right.
and it doesn't matter.
Right, and I talked to
and they're
one of them.
all 3 of them go to the bar.
Right? Yeah, you have to.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Right?
you're one of 3 daughters.
Yeah.
You're the eldest?
I'm the eldest.
If your dad was progressive in that way and he was very open with you working out and eating meat and all that stuff, how was it growing up and dating?
Oh, okay. So my dad, somehow, he knew everything. Like, how? We still don't know. Like, even with all our younger cousins, his best friend's daughter, somehow he's the first to know when they're dating.
Wow.
So my dad just wanted us not to be dating anybody and everybody.
Right.
Right? And the moment we told him, he had to meet the person. Like,
I
so
love that.
he's known about 2 of my boyfriends.
Yeah.
Probably all 3.
Yeah.
Right? And then, but he just needed to know them, and he just didn't want us to lie. Right? And I think I broke the ice for the younger kids.
Of course.
The first one always
first
does,
one always
right?
paves the
Like
way.
you push
Yeah.
the boundaries and
Right?
Was your
But it was
your dad
fearful
straight?
telling him.
Yeah.
what was it like? How
Like-
did you tell him?
Cortisol levels were probably so high, stressed, probably sweating. He always found out before I could tell him.
Really? and you couldn't figure out how you found out?
No,
Did you tell your
never.
mom first?
No, never.
Any of the
did he have
aunts?
like
Who
a
snitched?
PI
Who
on
snitched
you?
in the
I think
family?
We don't know, but he always knew. Like, he always knew exactly what we did, how we did it. He knows
put a
everything.
PI on Sylvie.
Yes.
Like
sure.
Maybe he
24/7
did.
PI.
Who knows? Right?
So was he super strict? How was he growing up?
Okay, so growing up, strict.
Yeah.
But now he's like our
Super
best
chill.
friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Usually what,
and
and I think
he
it
had
should
to
be like that. Yeah, it should be like that.
Right?
You can't be you gotta be their father and their parent first.
Yeah.
And then you can be their best friend.
But it's
later
a
on.
fine line, man. I've seen some people like when they're growing up, their parents are like more friends towards them,
Yeah.
and they don't have those boundaries of like, hey, you're not going to be sitting here smoking weed with me on
No.
a fucking Monday
No.
night, right? You need to like kind of be that parental figure,
Yeah.
right? How was the balance between that for you and your
Yeah,
dad?
so growing up, probably until 18, he was very strict. 18, 19, very strict. We did not have Fridays and Saturday nights to ourselves. He owned a restaurant in Vancouver, also had a janitorial company. We worked.
Busy.
I did not party
Yeah.
at all, and I actually don't even enjoy it. Right?
So you, okay.
Right?
Until what age though? Because I'm sure you did party.
Yes,
Yeah.
but a lot later on, like by 22, 23, and then I had goals. I was focused.
Right.
Right?
What were your goals at that point?
Goals to finish my degree, to get a job, get 6 figures, all of those goals.
Right,
And
yeah.
I was able to achieve all that at a very young age.
Awesome.
I think because of the work ethic that
Yeah,
he
that
instilled,
he instilled in
us.
you.
Right? But yeah, literally no Fridays, no Saturday nights. He found out I drank after, in grade 12, after you graduate. I don't know if it's still a thing, but everyone goes to Whistler.
Yeah.
Right?
We're only about 3 years apart. So
Okay, yeah.
it was a thing back then, obviously. How about you? Did you go to Whistler or where'd you go?
Honestly, I had a party phase in grade 8 to 10, and then I stopped everything from like 11
Yeah.
and 12, and I tried to focus on my life because
Yeah.
I was a really bad fuck up in grade 8 to 10. So like
allowed
I was
to
like
be.
drinking during the day
Yeah,
at
wow,
school.
yeah.
So I didn't party in those years as much, but I don't know. Maybe it is a thing.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So
but
where'd
I
you guys go
remember-
for grad then? Did you go anywhere?
We didn't go anywhere, man. We just had a
Ah.
dry grad, and I didn't even drink on my grad, and
Damn.
I was
Okay.
very like civil at that. I grew up really quick. I had a couple things in my life that made me grow up really quickly.
Happens.
So I feel like I had to
that's
do
what it
that. But you said your one of your goals was to hit that 6 figures. Where did that goal in your head, like, hey, 6 figures is like the goal? Because now 6 figures is
It's
fuck
nothing.
all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
6
Yeah.
figures is
It's
nothing.
nothing now. It was just 6 figures had no meaning to me, but money had a meaning to me, right? And talking about money has become such a faux pas. It's so gross. Why can't we talk about wealth? Why can't we talk about money?
You know what's interesting? Like people, like I even saw this yesterday in the word humble, and like it comes with like, how do I explain it? It means so much in a way of like you should strive to be humble and you should be quiet about your money, and which is okay. Like you don't need to be rude about your money,
Never.
but you should be happy about the money you made. You should be able to drive that Ferrari with pride.
Agree.
You know what it is? It's not being humble, it's humility. If you have humility, I feel like humble, you'll be perceived as humble because you'll be willing to do things that you aren't like, oh, you're putting your nose up in the air and being like, I can't fucking do this.
How many times do we hear, oh, this person makes so much money, but you'll never hear about it, and then they're praised for that, which is okay. But why can't we share the fact that like we've been successful?
I agree.
Right?
So you've been successful at a pretty high level. I haven't heard your story enough, but I hear that you're very successful at a high level. You have a business in Mumbai, right?
Yeah.
Do you share that with people when people ask? Like, how do you go about that?
No. So this is something I really worked on in 2022.
I'm gonna move your cup out.
I've always been.
Look,
yes,
make
you
it look
have
real
to.
nice, bro.
Yeah.
Make it look. That was pissing me off.
There you go. Your OCD's kicked in.
Come on.
You know, in life, I always thought being quiet and making myself small was the way to live. So I've never spoken
Pretty
about
much
my
of what I'm
story.
saying.
Right? Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Fucking society.
Society's
Society's
your
like, you shouldn't flaunt your fucking shit.
like you weren't allowed
can't
to talk about
it.
it.
Yeah.
Right? Till this day, if I'm having a conversation with somebody and if someone in that room doesn't like it or standing around in a circle, I noticed this actually just in December, because I'm talking about it more now, right? That person walked away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, but that's their
insecurity.
Yes.
insecurity.
I-
Yeah.
100% it
Let's
is.
not
They
call
don't
it
feel like
insecurities.
enough.
It's there. It's triggers.
Yeah.
Insecurities is one word. I mean, it's the same thing, but it's something that they can't control. They just feel uncomfortable about the conversation, and possibly because they can't add to that conversation because they don't fucking think like that.
Yeah.
90% of the world doesn't think like that.
But if you
10%.
tell somebody your goals and their massive
think-
goals, and
they
they're
think-
not on that level of like thinking, I'm not even saying that level of business, but on that level of thinking and goal setting, they just think you're being arrogant and cocky.
Absolutely.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right?
What's the ceiling, you guys? It's what we create.
It's
There
what-
should be no ceiling.
What's your ceiling?
I have no ceiling.
Just keep pushing.
What's your goal right now? What's your why?
My why right now in life is just happiness.
Yeah.
And what brings me happiness. And that is
So
it.
is it travel? Is it?
Yeah. So what brings me happiness is travel,
Yeah.
right? It's being able to do whatever I want whenever
you
I
want.
want it.
Yeah.
If that means,
That's
we were
freedom.
talking earlier, discussing, hey, let's book a trip tomorrow. Where are we going?
Yeah.
That will bring me happiness. And I'm not, so this is coming up again. Like, I'm saying that talking about it is harder
Yeah.
because then people will think you're not humble.
Exactly.
But they're not.
But you can be humble.
Thank
I think
you.
it's more about being. So I always battled it with this word, but society calls humble a certain thing.
Yeah.
I call it something different, but it doesn't matter.
No.
We got to go with society's rules because that's what we're catering to, unfortunately.
And that's just gross.
Yeah. I think it should be more about being respectful.
100%.
And not if someone's making, or even if someone's thinking lower than what your mentality
Yeah.
is. So not even making less money, but if they're thinking less money, we just got to be nice to them.
Yeah.
Right. But the truth is we need to be thinking larger.
We need
Way
to be.
larger, yeah.
You guys, anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it. It's hard
Period.
work. Yeah.
I think on the come up though, like you have to speak the words into existence. So you kind of have to be talking about
Yeah.
these things.
100%.
When you were doing that, did you feel like you've lost friends because of that? Do you feel like
I
you've
have
changed
lost some
circles?
friends.
Yeah.
100% I've lost some friends. And I do know there's a lot of judgmental people in my life.
Of course.
But some people you just can't get rid of.
Yeah.
It's family.
Yeah.
But, and I'm okay with them leaving.
How do you deal with that though? Even the people that don't leave and you have to keep them in your circle, because that negativity brings you down, and I struggle with that too, which is why I'm asking, and probably a lot of other people struggle with
Yeah.
that too, right? So how do you have that balance of like, yeah, they need to be in my life, but
Yeah.
they bring me down whenever I'm around them? How do you go about that?
I become an observer. I don't talk much.
Yeah. Let them talk.
I let them talk.
Yeah.
I've become an observer in many parts of my life because I'm reteaching, I'm relearning a lot.
Yeah.
But you have to become an observer, right? And let them talk. Those are their insecurities, and those people usually can't shut up.
You know what's funny about that is when they go on a tangent, they release information that should not fucking be released. It's
Yeah.
so funny watching that,
Yeah.
right? who was your inspiration growing up? Like, who'd you look up to? Because right now we have a lot of social media people that I personally looked up when I was like in banking and I was trying to grind up that corporate ladder. I was looking at like Grant Cardone. I was looking at
Grant Cardone's big.
Yeah, I was looking at a lot of people online. But back when you were kind of doing your thing,
there was
you
no
didn't have
social
online.
media. We had High Five, I think, or ICQ.
ICQ,
Right?
MSN,
MSN, I know.
Right?
What's High Five?
High Five was another one of like.
It's just another platform,
app, yeah.
another app.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
We put pictures on there. You judge each other.
Yeah, that's all. Same thing as
Judge your world.
Instagram.
Same thing.
Do you know? I never looked up to celebrities. They still don't care. There is one older cousin I've always looked up to. Right? Mm-hmm. She was very dedicated in what she was going to do.
What did she do?
She's an oncologist now.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Looked up to my dad, and really that's it. Now I'm fortunate in life that I've got women and men in my life that I can be like, you know what?
Inspiring.
Yes, I want my mind to work like their mind.
Who's your closest mentor? Is it someone that's like within your circle, or is it someone that is another business owner across the world? Like,
yeah,
because obviously, like, do you mastermind?
No, but those are goals. But I want women and men around the world to be in my mastermind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's one of my 2023 goal.
room.
It's a woman that messaged me as I was leaving the bank, so maybe 5 years ago, to see if there's something we can do together.
Okay.
She's probably 7 or 8 years older than me, has gone through a lot in life. Her name is Balraj, foul-mouthed spiritualist. She's absolutely amazing.
Shout out to Balraj.
Yeah, shout out to Balraj. And she's like been my mentor. She's in my circle. And it happened to be, she lived 5 blocks down the street from me. And we met at a little coffee shop. And since then, that woman has taught me a lot.
Like
Life skills or business skills?
No, not business skills. Business skills come naturally to me.
Yeah.
Life skills.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in terms of spiritual? Because
Yeah.
people don't understand, but that side of it is a huge personal development piece, the
Huge.
spirituality side of it.
It never ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that what your conversations with her are based on?
Yeah, like, hey, you're gonna think I'm crazy. So every word matters. So every word that comes out of my mouth has a vibration. I just recently said I hate the word work. I choose not to use it.
Would you replace it with exchange of money or exchange of energy or taking money?
Yeah.
Spending time generating
Yes.
income. That's
right.
what she said,
yes. Because if we go back into Webster's dictionary from years ago, work was, I learned this from Balraj, and I've been like, yes. Why would I want to? I'm not a fucking slave.
Yeah.
I'm not
You're
a slave.
service provider.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So changing that word, I hate the word busy. You don't like to use busy. What is busy, right? So she got my brain working in a whole different way because every word matters. Every word has a vibration.
Yeah.
If we look at what soul means in the current age dictionary and go back 50 years and pull up a dictionary, soul will have a different meaning. God will have a different meaning.
Right.
Right? So
within the last 5 years, you started thinking about this, or thinking more?
I would
Or were
want to
you
say in the
always-
last 2.5 years.
So that's when you started thinking more about energy, the words, manifestation.
Yes.
So prior to that, you didn't.
No,
not too
less
much.
of it, right? I was just at the surface.
surface.
5
I
years
feel like
ago.
when you go deep into spirituality, something in your life happened to change the trajectory and look at that. So like that's what happened for me. Did something happen for you that made you look into this more?
Yeah, I knew this
So last 2
question was
years
going to
ago.
be asked.
So
Not
prior
even
to
last
COVID.
2 years. So things fall into my laps easily. I'm very fortunate that way. And the right people will show up at the right times. So what really got me fascinated into this world was maybe 9-10 years ago. I had a fight with an older cousin of mine. And it was stupid. But that really disturbed my peace. Like, really disturbed my peace. Like,
It's not stupid. Why
right?
are you saying it's stupid?
it was a fight. No, I agree, right? Because
Physical or just
verbal.
Verbal. Okay. Yeah.
Ramen's just fucking
Verbal,
going
yeah.
at it.
That would
That's
happen
stories
too.
about her sister pulling up to the school with a wrench or something like
Yes,
that.
yeah. My
Almost,
middle sister's crazy.
almost the bodyguard. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
She's always a bodyguard.
You had this altercation with an older cousin.
Yeah, and that disturbed my peace so much, and I'm so grateful for it today. But probably disturbed my peace for months.
Yeah.
So that kind of led me to this route. And then 5 years ago, almost in February, we lost somebody, well, two people. We lost a 21-year-old in our family, and one of my cousins lost somebody also in her life. The reason why I left the bank was her daughter. And from that point on, it's been a game changer. And, you know, it's tough that death gets us here, some sort of trauma gets us here, and that sucks. I get it. But without these incidents happening in life, I wouldn't be where I am.
But
And
without
it's
the pain, there's no
powerful.
growth.
Right?
It's powerful though when it comes in that way, because are you religious at all?
Growing up, I would think there was no God. But now, probably in the last, again, 7 to 10 years, hey, there is a God.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up, I didn't think there was a God. I thought I was an atheist.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot, like myself too, business owners turn to atheism until something happens, and then faith is restored. And that's not always religious. Like, I don't think I'm massively religious.
No.
I take a lot of things from a lot of different religions, but
Same.
the faith and the spirituality side is freaking massive. So
Huge.
what would you say to somebody that doesn't really believe in it, hey, take a look at it? Or would you just let them naturally come to it in their own way?
Let them naturally come to it in their own way. I'll always, yes and no, depending on who the person is.
It depends if they're willing to listen.
Yeah.
And if they're ready to listen.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell someone what they don't want to hear.
No.
They're just not gonna hear it.
I will say something. Let's say if they're my siblings, for instance, I'll say something, and I'll know if they're receptive to it. And if they're not, then we leave it.
Then you just leave it.
Right?
That's very powerful
Yeah.
to know when to do that, because that's a high social
IQ.
EQ,
IQ?
right? EQ.
EQ,
I said
IQ.
okay. Yeah.
To be able to do that, because a lot of people, especially as an elder sister,
Yeah.
you want the best for your sisters. Always. And you're looking out for them, and you're looking to protect them, and you're trying to make sure that they don't make the same mistakes you do.
No.
However, for them to really be receptive of it, a couple things need to happen. They need to look up to you, which I'm sure they do. Of course they do. But they also need to be ready for that conversation. And they also need to learn on their own. They need to
Agreed.
go through those mistakes on their
We
own.
have to, because if we don't, then
You don't get it.
No.
Yeah.
It's crazy too. You can kind of pick up keywords, and I'm gonna make an assumption now.
Please.
But when I'm in social situations and I want to bring something up like psilocybin,
Yes.
you hear keywords that people talk about, energies, things like this, and then you can kind of infer that,
Yeah.
hey, this person knows something about
Yeah.
it. So have you gone into that
Guarantee
route?
you she has, because her ears perked up when you said psilocybin.
Yeah.
Her eyes open wider. She said a couple keywords, so that's why I bring it up. And honestly, I would bring it up like this the same way. And if somebody's like, no, I don't know what it is, change subject.
Yeah.
Go fucking far left.
If you spoke to me last year, I probably won't even talk about it. But now sometimes I'll even post it in my stories, like, microdosed in my sauna.
Yeah.
Right? And
When was the first time, and like
What got
was
you
the
into
experience?
it?
What got
Like-
you into it? Yeah.
again, I'm open to a lot in life. What got me into it? I have to remember the first time. It was an old friend, and we talk about it quite a bit.
Right.
And then I realized I've got another friend who's still part of my life. She used to have a podcast, used to talk about it heavily. I'm like, hey, hook me up. Like, where do I get shrooms
Give me some
from?
mud, give me some
right?
drugs.
Yeah. So we do an exchange.
Kids, we don't support drugs. We're just supporting alternatives.
I
And
do.
Do
I
your
support
research.
it.
And,
I support it.
talk to a doctor first.
I support
And we did an exchange at Amore. And really, that's it. So I want to say maybe like 2.5, 3 years ago.
Did you notice the change after?
Yes.
And like, what were the changes, if
Do you know,
if you noticed it?
it's just mindset. It's just being a little bit more positive through moments in life where you're being tested, I think.
Optimistic,
Right?
yeah.
So psilocybin kind of like entered your life because you had a friend
Yeah.
that knew about it. Did you ever go one step further and do a journey?
No. I tried doing a journey once. I tried, but it wasn't a successful journey because I think it was a wrong person around trip sitting or sitting the journey.
Were they like a shaman, or were they
No,
just a
no,
random
no. This
person?
was just an old friend, and I just don't think that journey was supposed to be with her.
How much did you take?
God, I think she kept going up in grams. I don't remember, 3.5, 4. Nothing happened.
Oh wow.
4 grams.
Yeah, like she
Oh
slowly
my God.
kept going.
That's like a high level.
I did
Right?
3 and I saw God.
No.
Like I literally
I
took a
didn't
walk.
see anything.
Wow.
So we've been talking about it again,
Yeah.
right? Like my brother-in-law and I have, like it's time. Like we need to.
Yeah.
Do it with a shaman.
Yeah.
Like they have certain methods and they have certain things they use to get you space. I know this one person did it for my sister. I got her to do it,
Yeah.
and she only did a gram. But when they did the bowls, the sound
Yeah.
bowls, like it got her to a space. Like she literally spoke to like our great grandpa.
So there's a place in Langley that There's like I've been looking into
Willoughby?
it. I don't know exactly where, but yes, somewhere there. And maybe it's the same place. I don't know.
Probably. There's not a lot.
Yeah, there's definitely not a lot. So those are goals. 2023.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I've done the micro. I think you journaled before you did it.
I did like a 3 to 6 month process before I did it.
I haven't journaled, but I've been writing down the things that I want to work on.
Yeah.
So maybe I can dive into that a little bit more and like,
Of course.
expand on that. Did you do any of the journaling, or did you do anything? Is there anything actually that you would want to go back to, let's say, fix? Any traumas growing up in your childhood?
Childhood, thankfully, was always good, right? After childhood, any traumas? Yes, listening to your intuition, because intuition always will tell you the right and wrong. Intuition made my husband and I lose a lot of money, like not listening to our intuition at one point.
Yeah.
So now it's all about intuition. So I've learned my lesson, right? We've learned our lesson.
Yeah.
But listening to your intuition.
Was money the biggest loss that you took by not listening to your intuition, or was it something else? And if it was money, can you share that story?
Yeah, we used to own a restaurant business. We did Hooked Poke. It was called Hooked Poke Bar. We were out in Vancouver, but when COVID happened, shit hit the fan, right? And in that time, we were opening up another location in South Surrey, and we took a big hit. But something always told me, like, "Hey, let's get rid of it. Let's sell it. Let's sell it." But
Restaurants
we didn't.
are tough business,
right?
Yeah.
So you kept having these feelings of like, yo, we need to get out of the business.
Yeah, but still having those feelings, but still trying to grow it.
Yeah.
So what did you do? So you kept growing it? You kept putting money into it?
Like you put in a deposit here, like in South Surrey, like, and commercial leases are expensive. Getting ready to build.
What was the
up.
lease like?
Out in South Surrey was a lot cheaper than Vancouver. Vancouver's, I think, maybe about $7 or $8 a month, right? Yeah, it's a lot. And we had a sale that would have been fantastic, and they were going to remove subjects a day before the world shut down.
Oh my God.
A day before.
So then they didn't do it.
So how'd you carry that? Because $7-8 a month, plus you have other fees, you have
was
insurance, everything.
That was 2 years ago. We had to figure it out, right? I remember coming back from India once because all our money went to the restaurant. All the money went to the restaurant, and I'm venturing out. I left the bank, right? So there's no steady income. Amore was my only steady income, but that's not enough, right? You have 2 homes, mortgages, you're traveling, you're building a new business. And I remember, and this is the second time I'll ever say this, or, now I'm open to it. I was in Heathrow Airport and I couldn't afford a cup of coffee.
You fucking had the same experience. I've been similar, but not quite there.
I've had that experience.
I've had a card decline, but there was money that I just had to deposit. But it was close.
But I didn't know that.
How did you feel though? Because you fucking were making a lot of money. You were in private banking is a big business, right?
Let's pause for a sec. I want to fucking elaborate on this. Like, everyone looks at you. Everyone looks at all of us on Instagram and sees this perfect life, or maybe they can see the imperfections.
Because it's
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Right. We are all imperfect. Right. And yes, there's a lot of times where we make a lot of money, and there's a lot of times where our fucking debit cards decline.
The highs are high, the lows are low.
Oh yeah.
I cried.
But the only
I
bet.
I cried.
I bet.
I'm on the phone. I'm yelling at my husband, and I'm crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I know, and that's so hard. But no, thank you for sharing that story because people don't realize that. And if you're in that position, just keep going.
Yeah.
Don't give up because
So-
it will pay off.
Okay, so you're sitting there crying. You're yelling at your husband. Obviously, money. I think it was like 46% of marriages fail due to money problems, right? So I'm not lying. Like, I worked at the bank and I had to tell people this, right? So how did that affect your guys' marriage? How did that that puts a strain on any type of relationship?
Oh, 100%. It definitely put a strain on our relationship. But I know, Elvin, you've probably met my husband. He is amazing. Okay. And he was my support system. And we realized what's making money right now. It's the business in India, in Mumbai, Victorous, here, Amore, and he dedicated himself. Like, literally, a man can't do that very easily, you guys.
So he manned up.
Oh, holy shit, did he man up. And that's why I say, like, he's a true man.
Awesome. Yeah.
Amazing.
Right? And yeah, it was hard on us. Yes, there was times of going through shit, But when it comes down to it, he was always in my corner. He manned up. He has no problem saying, yeah, it's my wife right now.
So
It's all about her.
he works in your businesses now.
Yeah, so we work together.
We'll call it your businesses together,
100%.
right? It's not your business. It's together, your guys'
Yeah.
businesses, right? Correct?
Yeah.
So he doubled down
He doubled down.
and said, okay, fuck the pokey shit.
100%.
It's not working.
Yep.
And restaurant business is a hard business to do. The profit margins are small. It can be great money, but it's a lot of work, long hours, I bet.
And not enough employees. That was another issue.
Yeah, so that's
Right?
tough. And he manned up and he said, no, fuck it. This makes sense. He took his pride because it's a beauty business, he took his pride aside, or society's pride of looking at
100%
that.
he did.
Push that to the side and say, fuck it, double down, let's make this work.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Right? And that, I think him pivoting that quick is what saved us.
Yeah, cheers to him.
Right? Because you got to pivot. Right? Shit will happen. And it's going to continue to happen. If we are risk takers, shit's going to continue to happen.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yeah.
Right?
You talk about your man in a very good way that we don't see a lot of people speaking. Like it's admirable how you speak so highly of him.
Yeah.
In our generation, like my generation now, it's very different. Like typically the guy or girl wants to hide their significant other. They want to be in this situationship, and they don't want to commit, and they don't want to do the things that is required to build a successful relationship. How did you guys meet, and what word of advice would you give to somebody looking to find a connection like that?
We met through family. It was one of my really good friends, childhood friend. It was her wedding, and her cousin actually brought a friend along, and she was like, "Hey, you need to meet this friend." Was like, "You need to meet my cousin," and that's how we just met.
Nice.
So it was
Very
easy.
organic.
Yes, very organic. And what advice would I give now if you're trying to meet somebody? Honestly, speak it into words. Period.
Write it down on a piece of paper.
Write it down, talk about it, think it, imagine it. From what I'm hearing from my single friends, whether they're 27 or 50, it's hard.
Yeah.
Right? But you just got to make it happen, make it natural, and go on those dating apps. Like I always tell people, be there.
Yeah.
But if you go on a dating app,
Yeah, okay.
this is my problem with dating apps, and I think that's a great way, like writing it down and everything, but I think you also need to become the person that would attract the person that you
100%.
want, right?
100%.
Like if you make a long list of like, oh, I need this guy to be 6 foot, I need this guy to make 6 figures, do all this, then what the fuck do you have to offer?
Oh, totally. Not that type of a list. How you're going to meet this person list.
I agree
An
with
actionable list.
Actionable list as well, but I also believe in, okay, what are you looking for in a person?
Yeah.
It may not be completely physical, but it could be charismatic. Can you say the word for me?
Charismatic.
Charismatic.
I'm in an Urban Dictionary pretty much.
I'm just charismatic. He's got to be, likable.
Yeah.
He's got to be loving. He's got to be caring, and fitness. You can have all these things as long as you are up to that par.
100%.
You gotta work on yourself.
You gotta work on yourself. And the one thing I always tell my single friends is, and I meet a lot of single girls as well. I don't know if there's an imbalance, and what I mean by that, I don't meet them. I mean family members and friends. And what I always tell them is work on yourself, be the best version of yourself, because you're gonna attract that.
But you can say that day in and day out,
But they're not ready to listen to it.
No, because when we are working on ourselves, it's fucking hard, and it takes years.
Yeah,
it's glamorized, right?
I hate those type of words now because it's so glamorized. You do this for a week, and guess what? You get this next week.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It's years and years of work.
Years of work. It's a mindset. It's
forever.
But okay,
how do you stay motivated for the gym? I saw you bench pressing 45.
Yes.
You won't bench as much as us now.
Talk to me again in 6 months.
So I worked on it for 2 days, posted it, and I'm never going back.
I've got 3 key men in my life. My dad we've spoken about, my husband we've spoken about, and
your trainer.
I wouldn't even call him my trainer anymore.
Life coach.
He's been in my life for 10 or 11 years. He's 65 plus.
Yeah.
Looks as though he's 30, 40.
Yeah, awesome.
The amount of shit he's taught me, and because of him, I've gotten through some of my darkest moments.
Do you turn to the gym? Because you don't drink that much anymore.
No, I used to drink
which
when I
is
was in
great.
banking on a very regular basis
Which
every
is
day.
great.
It's a banking lifestyle.
We always
Yeah.
say
I
the
remember
worst-
that, man. We used to drink at lunchtime.
Yeah, yes.
It was fucked.
That's
Who would
fucked up,
call
man.
happy hour first at
Yeah,
3? It's like, we're
Jesus.
out.
Yeah, and
right?
then you take a couple pieces of gum, you do
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah.
Right?
Him
It was
and
a
I
fucked
talk
up
about it quite a
lifestyle.
bit. Where like we never turn to alcohol when we're depressed.
I did.
No.
I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
And it wasn't the wrong move.
It was the worst move
It
in my
was
life.
the right move.
Because it's just,
Yeah.
it's even worse.
What do you turn to when you are in that slump?
Yep. I have to be by myself. So naturally, I'm an introvert. I'm a forced
Really?
extrovert by my dad. Yeah. But naturally, I'm an introvert. And I need time to myself. And yes, it's the gym. But yes, it's whenever I feel like that, it's okay, Raman, get in a meditation and grab your journal and write.
Nice. Who taught you that?
Instagram,
Nice.
Wow.
the internet.
Social
Positive
media.
influence. It
Positive
depends
influence
on the
is
people
time,
you
yeah.
follow, right?
Agreed. I don't follow any of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I don't follow any of that garbage. I follow very few celebrities, if any.
Do you
More
follow
for
Andrew
fashion.
Tate?
He's
No,
not on
I
Instagram
don't.
yet.
Well,
oh,
he's on Instagram.
did he get kicked off?
He's still banned from it. He's on Twitter now, but he's not allowed on Instagram yet.
Yeah.
He's in jail currently, actually, but he'll be
I
out
read
soon.
that yesterday.
He'll be out soon. It's just a fucking play.
So you don't follow? Well, he's not. There's not really himself that you can follow, but there's like the sub accounts that you can follow,
Yeah.
right?
So in
TikTok and
true
stuff.
honesty, I have never ever listened to him.
Okay.
Okay, but I get bits and pieces from men and women, or what people vent about him on social media. If the herd is saying one thing, I take a step back
Good.
and say, okay, everyone thinks he's this evil person. But maybe there's a couple of things in there that could be right,
Every single person in the world, regardless of how corrupt or terrible they are, you can learn something from.
Always,
Like, He's done something amazing. He has 33 cars. He's got a couple of Bugattis. There's something the world can fucking learn from this man, right?
Yeah.
That's how
Right.
I see it. Is
I agree. And then, like Andrew Tate's been a running joke through all of December with our family. And I can't disagree with everything he says. I still want a man.
Yeah.
I still want a man that I feel protected with, and that might come with a certain amount of ego.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Of course.
If we want to get places, we need a certain amount of ego.
Yeah. You need a backbone. You need that strength. You need that
Right?
courage.
And
You
some
need
of
that
the
bravery.
things. Yeah.
Even like taking risk is a form of bravery.
100%.
And
It's
with
ego.
business, it's ego. Yeah. And the fact that you don't want to fail is ego.
100%.
Which is a good way. Which is
So,
ego being used in a good.
You just
form.
need to learn how to shut down ego a little bit, or put ego in place.
Right.
control you.
Control it.
But you need ego.
But you need it. You need some type of fuel.
Right?
Some type of drive.
And if we sit here and listen to him, and some things I might say, fuck, that's awful.
Yeah.
But if you break it down and bring it back to very basics, you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
But some thoughts inside your own head, you probably think, oh, fuck, that's awful. Why am I thinking like that?
Yeah.
Right? Everybody has
100%.
that.
Yeah.
It's just he displays it. He's
Agreed.
very open. So I'd rather deal with a man that is very open, cards on the table kind of thing, than somebody who's in their head about like, oh, I'm going to fuck this guy over in this way.
Agreed.
Like, right? But okay, sorry, taking a step back, the dating apps. Unpopular opinion, I don't think dating apps are the
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm about to join an app. I'm married, but to make more friends.
Okay.
One of the apps has a friends option.
Bumble has a friends.
Yes.
Bumble has it.
Bumble.
Yeah.
It's good for
That's
networking.
fine. That's totally
Right?
fine.
I don't
but-
think my wife will be okay with that. I really don't want that anyway. But if it works for you guys, by all means,
Yeah.
I'm not.
So it's a friends.
Yeah,
So you
so I'm
might-
not opposed to it.
No, of course not.
I
And
just definitely don't think my wife's.
my
like
husband's going into a whole different industry in life, and I'm like, he goes, man, I got to make friends in aviation. I got to make friends in this. I'm like, Nate, get on the app.
You know what he should do? He should go on Reddit.
Reddit. Oh, he
Reddit
loves
is
Reddit.
a community of
Okay.
fucking anybody
Even
you can find on
We've
there.
we've made friends on TikTok.
Okay, I have to
I
tell
got
him.
my first real estate lead, actually, not my first ever real estate lead, but from TikTok last week, just off one of our lives.
Holy crap.
Right?
Okay.
And it's just exposure. People can
Yeah.
they see my page. It's on my.
We did a meet and greet off TikTok the other day.
We've made some friends off TikTok.
It was
now.
really cool.
Okay.
It's great to network.
See, I'm not on TikTok at all.
You and I are probably from the generation where face-to-face conversations and phone calls mean
I
a bit
value them more.
You value them more. So when I try to talk to someone, it's more of a face-to-face.
Yeah.
So when we do these TikTok lives, we can have other people joining our live, and it's almost a face-to-face conversation. And then you'll have people in the comments saying things, asking questions, and then it's like a group conversation,
That
but
is
you
so
get that
cool.
joy of having it face-to-face. Well,
Okay.
over video,
Yeah.
right? So it's super cool, and yeah, we've made some friends off of it. We do live once or twice a week.
Okay, I do have a TikTok account, so I have to be more active. And
You got to be
follow
more
you
active. You got to
guys.
get it to over 1,000.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll set something up and we'll
Yeah, you
do
can
a
only
live
go live
together.
if you have 1,000. Weirdly.
Ah,
So it's
okay.
like certified people, I guess.
Ah, very
in
cool.
a way.
Okay, well, I got to do some work.
So yeah.
But you know what? That's good because not any dickhead can just go on live and say some dumb shit, right? You have to have a little bit of influence, like micro influence,
Yeah.
I'd say,
Yeah.
and
It
be
is
a real
micro.
person, not just a fake account
Yeah.
Trolling
right?
people.
Because there's a lot of trolls, man.
I have never realized how many trolls there are in the world until TikTok came out. There are so many trolls because I
Really?
never got this type of hate through Instagram.
Instagram, same.
And like, yes, it's negative, and yes, of course, words have frequency, and they do affect us a little
always.
bit.
How
but
can you
we've
not?
been really great at how we respond. It's usually passive aggressive, witty, and we never try to take them down. We never try to attack them as well, like a whole tit for tat type of thing. We just kind of make them look like a fool without making them look like a fool.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
good.
the best
to
way.
themselves, right?
They do it to themselves,
Yeah.
kind
They
of
do.
thing, right?
So okay, sorry, we haven't even talked about the business yet. We don't have that much time, but
Yeah.
you opened this business. Did you open it in India or did you?
No,
open
first
it here?
here. So Amore landed in my laps. I was still at the bank when I owned Amore. And from that point on, I don't
Say it.
care to be
Say it.
a service provider.
Okay.
I don't want to be known as a service provider, period. Okay? But that was the way to expand where I'm going. And I was in India 7 years ago with my sister, maybe six and a half. And I'm like, Amrit, I'm going to do something here. And one day she goes, what the fuck are you on? I was a commercial banker at that point,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, I'm going to do something
Intuition.
here. Left it.
Intuition, that's awesome.
And then a year and a half later, I'm like, shit, I need to be teaching this in India. But do I know anybody other than Punjab? I don't know anybody in India, right?
So what'd you do? Cold called? Can't door knock.
Cold called.
Cold called.
Cold called and cold emailed. So I even spoke
Who
to
though? Who'd you email? Who'd you call?
anybody and everybody. So even like celebrity makeup artists. Like
Yeah.
I spoke to Sonam Kapoor's makeup artist. Like there's two women who own the business. I even spoke to her, but they wanted to take over me. They wanted to take over your brand. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Click. Our energies don't match.
Yeah.
And I sent out my very last email to an individual by the name of Ronick, and forever grateful for him. He's a good friend now, and he owns probably Asia's biggest tattoo supply company. Wow. So it was a tattoo supply company, you guys. That's how desperate I got. And he read my email. He actually responded within like 2 days, which I was so surprised.
Yeah.
And Ronick messaged back. He goes, I've CC'd Nikhil Banoshelli in here and his wife, Archana, who does my tattoos. I think you guys can hit it off.
So because microblading is a form of like tattooing?
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously we don't know that much about it.
No, of course. So
Yeah.
semi-permanent makeup in India was being done by tattoo artists in India because they thought that it's something that they can do, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of bot shit out there. But that was my last email. I had given up. So
How many emails and calls did it take to get to
mother.
that point where you got that breakthrough?
many.
Wow.
Yeah.
Many and many. That was my last one. Like,
You know what's the craziest thing though? She saw a market where there was a problem
Yeah.
that she could perfect.
yeah. And that's all it was.
And that's all she found, that she had a solution for a problem.
Yeah.
And that's all it
And
was.
that's all it was. And then I got on the phone with Nikhil, and I'll never forget this call. I'm like, fuck, this dude is speaking my mind.
Yeah.
Right? We're on the same vibe. We're on the same page. We probably spoke November, December.
Of like last year or
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. And then 4 years ago, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And then in March, I got on a flight.
Nice.
And I took my sister with me, my little one. Went to Mumbai for the first time ever.
Easy.
Dad was like, go do whatever. Husband's like, go do whatever. I'm like, bingo, I'll go do whatever. And then I ended up there, and we broke even, which was nice,
Awesome.
right?
Solid story.
And from that point on, it's been history. And then I used to fly back 3 to 4 times a year.
Yeah.
COVID happened.
Yeah.
I remember rushing out of Mumbai. It was like Armageddon because Modi was announcing that the airports are shutting down at 12. I'm like, fuck, I need to get on my flight. We canceled all other classes, and Nikhil and Archana are driving me to the airport. But it was like, it almost felt like Armageddon, like driving through the fire.
Wow.
Got home, and I'm like, now what do we do, right? Then there was one individual, Abhi. I can never say enough things about him. And he helped take the business to the next level because he started training. Because I couldn't travel.
Yeah.
Right?
So a lot of people don't understand, but you said you broke even and you were happy about that.
I was ecstatic, but my mother-in-law did not like the idea.
People don't fucking understand though. The breaking even in your first business venture in a new business is massive. It's
That's
awesome.
huge, yeah.
Usually it's called loss leaders, right? You're supposed to take L's at the beginning so that you can perpetuate your business to excel to new heights, right?
The red's part of the business.
Yeah.
You know.
So your mother-in-law wasn't happy with it?
Oh, yeah, because we exchanged money and she owed me a check and she goes, "Oh, that's it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I broke even." She goes, "Then what was the point?"
Narrow mindset, right? She
didn't understand the big picture.
She thought the job was done.
No, right?
What'd you say to her?
I just smile and walk away.
we struggle with this all the time, right? Where like our parents, like my mom will be like, "Oh, like, do you have any listings right now?"
Yeah.
And like I'm sure your dad has said this to you in the past of like, "Oh, like, did you sell anything today?" It's like
I just say, yeah, I sold like 10 properties. Now I'm just at the point where like, yo, I made a mill last night. Well, what's up, Dad? Are the bills being paid? Then please stop talking.
Yeah. No, I get
it. They don't get the struggles of it, right? So yeah, breaking even is huge,
right?
especially on the first year.
It was massive, and since then, it's been an amazing place to be growing our business.
So for those few years, you were going back and forth. You still go back and forth.
I still go back and forth.
Yeah.
So I was going back 3 to 4 times. Now it's down to 1 or 2.
Okay.
I'm back again in March.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do you do when you go there?
We work. Pre-COVID, it was working, like literally teaching. We teach in 3 different cities: Mumbai, Delhi, and Chandigarh.
Do you teach in English or can you
English?
Okay, so can you speak fluent
Punjabi? Yes.
Okay.
I speak fluent Punjabi, but in Mumbai, no one can understand Punjabi. You know, we forget
Hindi,
Punjab.
right?
Right. In Delhi, people can.
Yeah.
And 3-4 times a year, and now.
I'm down, man. Like, I can't speak Punjabi, but I can speak, obviously.
What
Sometimes
are
I can
you
speak
down
English.
for?
But you can
To go there?
understand
Whatever,
it.
just go there. Let me go figure it out. Like, there's so many.
Bro, you
there's
won't
so
even
much
go to
opportunity.
Dubai.
I didn't say I said I wouldn't move there. I didn't say I wouldn't go there. I said I'm down to go there. I'm down to go anywhere in the world where I can make money, see an opportunity, make money, and because the thing with India and like China, there's so many people.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about
huge.
this.
Yeah.
Demographics is huge, and a lot of people have been throwing the word lucky at me. You're so lucky.
No, there's no such thing.
Okay.
I don't fucking believe in luck.
No,
Preparation meets opportunity.
100%. And then someone else will say, well, there's 1 billion people there, but 1 billion people don't want to pay my prices.
With more population, the competition's also
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And 1 billion people don't want to pay Canadian prices, you guys.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to put that into perspective. So we take our 1 billion people, and then you take a small percentage of middle class. Middle class will always think twice, right?
Yeah.
Because it's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so my percentage of people that I can probably attract and talk to is very small.
Okay. How much money is it? How much money do they pay? For the course?
We pay about 5 to 6 grand.
Okay.
Yeah, see that
For 6 days.
Do you finance them sometimes?
We don't. I finance them here. We don't finance them there.
Too shady?
Too shady.
Gotcha.
My business partner's not comfortable with it, and he's my eyes and ears, so I follow his lead.
Right.
Just take their like first boy that they have as collateral. That's what I would do.
Right.
in
The
India.
first boy.
The first boy that
Yeah.
they have.
The
That's
first
all they
son?
fucking care
And
about.
how
all
did
I
you
care
find
That took me a minute to figure out
Yeah.
what you're talking
What the
about,
hell,
bro. Geez. Okay, so like, what is your demographic over there? Who's buying the product?
Demographic
Who's
there,
buying the product the most?
doctors.
Doctors are buying the product. the
Yeah,
most.
because they're very protective over skin and whatever happens on skin.
Oh.
So they've been the least happy about a non-doctor educating.
Oh,
right?
wow.
So they're still protecting the industry quite a lot, but at the same time, they're the ones who want to take the course.
So they're taking the course.
Yeah.
Keeping the
order
barriers
to-
up, but they're preparing
They
for
are- yeah.
what's to come.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
interesting.
And makeup artists,
Yeah.
and a lot of women changing corporation, like changing careers. So corporate
Right.
women taking and a lot of men there, you guys, and
Yeah.
I love that. Right, Abhi, our main educator in India, he's a man.
Yeah.
He's a tattoo artist.
Tattoo artist. Okay.
He saw an opportunity.
So when did you, because you excelled in business, when did you start buying luxury items? Because I noticed you have a nice Rolex on.
Yes, I do. This was from my first signing bonus
Nice.
from being headhunted.
Nice.
I don't like purses, so you will
What's your-
barely see me carry a purse. But my husband bought me one when I was 30.
Okay.
Before that, it was Coach, you guys. It was just normal stuff. Luxury, I guess. I love luxury, but you'll never really see me flaunting it anywhere.
What's your guilty pleasure? What do you spend the most money on?
Lately, shoes.
Shoes? Okay. Oh yeah, I saw you walking with
Yeah,
Cindy's,
lately shoes.
Tight as hell. Can't get them off.
No, that was a struggle.
Dude, my wife came home the other night. She bought these stupid ass black boots and they are so tight. She comes all the way upstairs, drunk as fuck, lays on the bed, puts her feet up.
Yep.
Babe, help me take these off. I'm like, dude, why don't you get a bigger size? She's like, no, they're just really tight.
It's just the way they are.
And she's like, I went through this in the store. And I'm like, you went through all that shit and you still fucking bought these shoes?
Yep.
I'm like, they're nice.
That's what we
Expensive
do.
shoes are the worst shoes.
They're not
to wear,
expensive.
Man.
No, bro, they weren't expensive. They're just the new style is super tight. Yeah.
Okay, so now just imagine having to go pee. So I drink a lot of water, and my husband's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, because I'm trying to take off my shoes. I don't want to take shoes into the house. I'm doing it. Dads, help me, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So where do you want to take your business now? There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
You don't have the restaurant anymore, right?
No, restaurant we got rid of.
Both of them, right?
Yeah, both of them gone. We got rid of our lease here. Now I'm in. My husband again did all of the work for this. It's been a long time coming. COVID has kind of screwed us, but that's okay. It's all a blessing. Is launching a skincare line.
Awesome.
And it won't be local Surrey type of skincare line. I'm imagining and I'm
manifesting.
Manifesting.
Don't imagine, manifest.
I know, manifesting. So I have an in to Shoppers, Drug Marts.
Awesome.
Sephora's later down the road, but literally a global business.
Is it men and women?
Men and women.
Have you heard of Lumen in LA?
I've heard of them, but I haven't done much research on them.
They're good. Their branding and everything's really good.
Yeah.
I like it. And they just literally send free product.
Yes, and that's all it is. Our PR reps from Toronto, and that's all they kind of recommend. They're like, it's going to be amazing.
You got great skin yourself.
Yeah.
So what's for all the ladies and some of the men out there? What's your skincare routine?
Did you know, you guys?
Lots of
It's
water.
less about the skincare routine. It's great what we put on, but you got also need to, like, you can't have a shitty diet, not drink water, not work out, not
sleep.
biohack, and
have like the perfect.
yeah, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars on skincare.
I use soap and
But then
water.
what do you think Kim K does?
She
Spends hundreds of thousands of dollars.
but she
So you
also
have two
has the
options. Spend
best. Yes.
Have two options. You either spend hundreds of thousands
Yeah.
of dollars or you start eating, sleeping, and working out.
Yeah, so like the hustle culture, I think like back, this is one other thing that I'm fixing now because you asked that question. I don't want to be part of the hustle culture. I want fucking 8 hours of sleep a night, if not 9.
What time do you go to bed right now? What's your schedule look like?
Last night I was in bed by 9 p.m.
Wow, awesome.
But it takes time to get there, right? At the beginning,
does.
you have to hustle.
You have
to
to.
do
Yes.
what it takes.
Yes, but yes and no.
Tell me about that.
Hustling feels like hard work.
It is, but
not
so many
enjoying it.
Kids are scared of hard work now.
Oh, we were just talking about that at the
Right.
gym this morning.
Yeah, so like you can't. I get, hey, get your 8 hours of sleep, but then there's kids who take it to the next level and be like, no, I can't hustle because I need my 8 hours.
I can't work
and
37
I'm a
hours.
fucking vegan
Yeah.
and I'm fucking this.
No,
like,
no,
shut
no,
the fuck
no,
up and
no,
put in
no,
work.
thank you.
Go sleep 8 hours and still hustle.
Yes.
And work
Okay,
long hours.
So do you know why, you guys? Times have changed.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go back years ago when time was created, it was created when there was something called snail mail. It was created when a horse had to deliver a letter, you guys.
Yeah,
We live in the fucking age of emailing and instant responses. Like, so why can't you do everything and hustle within like 10 hours, 8 hours, and still get 8 hours of sleep, you guys?
Time blocking.
Times have
Yeah,
changed.
time blocking, waking up early, go to bed at 9, wake up at 5.
Yeah, like the
and you can still
24
put in
hour.
there your 12 hours.
Agreed.
Well, the internet's evolved. Like you can do so many businesses online. I was getting my sister to open a store yesterday on Shopify and stuff like this. And right now I switched my schedule, so I work through the nights because I'm doing work that just
100%.
requires complete focus. It's like 12:30, 1 o'clock. She's like, okay, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going till 4 a.m. Shut the fuck up and continue working. And she didn't get the store done. She could have made 20 grand today. There was a solid business model.
I get it.
And she dropped the ball. So that's what I agree with, like, hey, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But also don't be a pussy.
No.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
there are
nailed it.
100%. There's definitely a fine line there.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally, yeah.
Or you go to bed at 9 and wake up at 4 and
Exactly.
do it.
That's tons of time.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm the
wake
other
up
way.
at 5.
I can't.
Oh no, totally. No,
Yeah.
ev-
It's just
whatever
everyone
works
works
for you.
differently.
We're
Yeah.
on different schedules.
You don't
I
have
go
to-
to sleep. I go to sleep on average 10:30, 11. I'm up
Agreed.
at like 6:30.
Yes, but I don't believe in the 5 a.m. club either. I think it's a bunch of bullshit because we all work differently. You're like my youngest sister who needs to be up all night working and creating something. Yeah. So why would we expect her to wake up at 7?
No, of course.
You have to know your strengths and weaknesses, right?
Not everyone's designed to do that. I like it. I like waking up early. It makes me feel productive.
Same.
But I do it for those reasons. And I don't do the 5 a.m. club. I do like a 6:30, 7 a.m. club, right?
Right.
If somebody gave you $5,000 today, what would if they said they had $5,000 today, what would you tell them to do with it?
I would get them to give it to me so I can donate it towards a gym my dad's opening in his village.
No, they're making money, Ramen. They're trying to be a boss bitch. They're trying to have a Rolex on when they come to a podcast. What would they do?
Tell them? It wouldn't be investing. What would I tell them? You can't do much with $5,000.
I agree.
Buy inventory.
Yeah.
Go on Alibaba.
Yeah.
Buy inventory of, I don't know, something to do with skin, a face mask of some sort, something, and then come back and fucking sell it.
Yeah.
That's what I would tell them to do, actually. Open up an account in Etsy. Don't even do Shopify. Don't do any of that crap. And use Instagram.
Right. So he had a great point. What would you do with $5,000?
Me?
Yeah.
I would. So this is the thing with. Back in the day, businesses used to require $200,000 business loan, bullshit, fucking interest rates. I would go online and start 3, 4, 5 different businesses. Honestly, I've started 3 or 4 brands online that cost me $300. So with $5,000, $300 times whatever, 5,000 divided by 300, you can start that many different businesses. One of them is bound to take off.
Gonna stick.
100%.
Align yourself with the right people. Make sure you have the right whatever you're lacking in your strengths. Find people who those are their. Whatever you're lacking, your weaknesses, find people with those as strengths and align with them, start businesses together and just mentorship.
Agreed. Only sit with people that inspire you.
Yeah. You are the product of the 5 or 6 people that you're around, right?
What if your best friend is like, okay, so I'm just randomly thinking of things now. What if your childhood best friend, right? And you have all these visions, goals, dreams and everything, but they don't want to do anything. How do you limit your interaction time with them?
You exit that relationship slowly.
Yeah. I think not, I don't even think you're not going to do that purposely. I think it's going to naturally happen. Yeah. You guys have different interests.
It happens slowly.
And you can still be very nice to them and be like loving. You can still love someone.
Extremely respectful.
But they slowly become acquaintances.
But then jealousy kicks in, then hate.
Then you start to hate them. Then they're not friends anymore.
You know, and you can't stop jealousy, you guys. Like, how are you supposed to stop
it's
jealousy?
It's human nature. You can't.
You can't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't drive a Honda Civic forever, right?
No. I have no desire of that.
I have no desire for Honda Civic either.
What's your dream car?
Oh God! So no, I'm not into cars. I drive a Tesla. We've been driving this one for 8, 9 years now. Yeah. My husband will have a list of cars, and he's always like, "What are you working towards?" I'm like, "Not a car, but you can get the car, and I'll drive it. I'm okay with that, right?" But cars are not on my thing. But an oceanfront home is.
Yeah, nice.
Right.
In like Surrey.
Yeah.
White Rock or something like that.
Yeah, so we're in Ocean Park right now. Nice. So it's kind of moving closer.
Closer and closer to your goal.
What part? Like.
Right on 128th.
Okay. Do you know that house, the architectural one, the one with like the black
so what's that? Is it
on Crescent?
1738 Ocean Park Drive.
Yeah. So Ocean Park Drive is where I go manifest, you guys.
I had the house listed for a while.
Wow.
I had a big ass party there. Yeah. But it's the one where the bedroom hangs off of the house.
Yeah.
It's very unique. You drive by it, it's very unique.
So we drive by it. I'll ride my bike by it. Yeah. We'll walk by it.
I do that in North Van now.
Yeah.
North Van's fucking
so
insane.
Nice. Yeah. North and West Van.
Yeah.
The energies in there, even water, is just nuts,
amazing.
Man. Like, it's crazy.
So that's called touching your dream.
Did you? Yeah. Did you? And you do that a lot with watches, cars, and stuff like that. I should do that a little bit more. I think
you gotta go touch your dream.
I wore this watch like 6 times before I bought it, man.
Yeah.
Let's go test drive a Ferrari.
Yes.
I've done it.
I know you've done it.
Go together. Go touch your dreams.
Touch your dreams. What's that?
It gets your emotions going.
What is touching your dreams, though, for people who might not know?
Yeah, like touching your dream is, so let's say you have a dream. I don't know, you want a butler in life. Then you go stay at the Fairmont for 2 nights.
Yeah.
It's not going to kill you, man.
It's not going to kill you.
Will not kill you.
Right?
And it won't kill you.
No, you want that watch? Go try it on 5, 6 times. Go feel the emotion of putting it on.
Yeah.
Right? Go touch your dreams more often. And touching your dreams doesn't cost a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You want to
Relatively,
travel a
yeah,
lot,
doesn't-
go to, you know,
It's a great return on your investment.
massive, because it gets your emotions going. The moment you have your emotions
mindset
going,
going, yep.
your mindset, then you will put in the effort to get there, because
Exactly.
we can create beautiful vision boards all day in, day out, but until you're not willing to put effort in getting there,
Yeah.
you're not going to ever get there. You can't sit there twiddling your thumbs and
And expect it to fall into your lap.
it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Right there, yeah, there's a fine line. And even the word manifestation, I know we've used it a few times here, but even that word's overused
Yeah.
now.
It's a buzzword, right?
It's such a buzzword.
It's become a buzzword, and when things become buzzwords, they get diluted in value.
Yes,
I
and
think.
it's definitely diluted now, unfortunately.
What's a better word for manifestation?
Goals, dreams, like, you know,
Inspiration.
yeah, right.
Do you have any questions for us?
We answered some of the questions right before our podcast because we were talking too much. But both of you are real estate agents. How did you
Yes.
guys meet?
You know, that's how we met, actually. You know what? The cool thing is, all three of us have a similar story where we left a high-paying job.
Huh.
So I was an electrician for 12 years,
Very cool.
10 years or something like that. Red Seal electrician, I made 90 to 100
Yeah.
since I was 22.
Easily.
Easily, yeah. And sky's the limit, right? And then we
Mine wasn't
met-
high paying though. I was like, I was doing mutual funds and,
Yeah.
and mortgages and stuff like that. I was only making like 50 grand a
Yeah.
year. But I left that industry because I wanted to apply for a bank manager position. That was the next position. But after like three or four times going for it, I kind of cornered my assistant branch manager, and I was like off duty. I was like, hey, why am I not getting the position? I outperformed every single person in the branch. And she's like, oh, they're just saying like you're too young. I was 19 at the time. I'm like, okay,
Ageism
fuck
is a
this shit.
thing.
Yeah.
It is in
I
corporate.
experienced it
It
in
is.
corporate.
In corporate, it's the biggest bullshit
I hate-
fucking
yeah.
norm that
I
they've
hated
created.
ageism.
Yeah. So how old were you when you were at the bank?
I started when I was 17.
Yeah. So you
Wow,
were the
17,
same
yeah.
situation, right?
Yeah,
I started
hated
at 18.
ageism.
Yeah. So the next day, I walked into the boss's office and I was like, I'm done. I quit. He's like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm gonna do real estate. He's like, you know, realtors, most of them aren't successful. I'm like, I'm not like the most of the people guy.
Yeah, you already
I got real upset.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I said, it was funny. I almost sent him I got paid the same on one deal, the same amount that I was making there. I was gonna send it to him. I was like, no, that's so much ego.
It is.
But
I'm glad you withheld on that.
Yeah, it would have been a dumb thing. But I honestly like people like that is what hold good people back from
They do.
bigger things.
For sure.
So it pisses me off. But
And then
yeah,
we met back in 2019 through the office.
That's
I
so
think he
cool.
walked by and asked if I wanted to if I wanted coffee. Being like a polite person, like, hey, whoever is here,
Yeah.
hey, do you want a coffee? And not a lot of people do that. It's as simple as that.
Okay, so bankers did that on a regular basis.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
did they?
Yeah.
At
Well,
your level?
Yeah.
Because then like a $3 coffee doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
But typically like when you're working at the bank, it's like, hey, you want a coffee? Okay, give me your card.
Yeah.
At like a teller
okay.
level, which I mean, fair.
get
like,
it, I
you're
get
not
it.
making enough money
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But in
So
real
yeah,
estate,
we're
it's
all
like,
sitting in the bullpen. He was in his office and he's walking by like, hey, I'm gonna go get some Tim's. Do you want anything? I'm like, well, that's very nice. I'm like, I already had coffee.
We were
Like,
drinking
thank you.
Tim's back then.
Yeah,
we were
moving
just
up.
started. Eh?
yeah.
We were just started.
up,
Tim
bro.
Hortons coffee.
No, I don't mind Tim's anyways.
I fucking
but
hate Tim's.
That's
It's
how
too
we
acidic.
first started talking,
not strong.
and then we quickly realized that our mindset was very similar,
Yeah.
energy was very similar, very
Very cool.
giving. So what he did is something I would do too.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, like let me get
Agreed.
you coffee. Like I'm on my way out, right? That's how we met, and then we just
Very cool.
became work and wife husband.
Yeah. And then what are your guys' goals?
Great question. Lambo, house
Yeah.
on the hills.
Good.
So I always used to say I was always scared of the whole house on the hills or house on the water. I used to tell myself that I didn't want those things because the truth was, and it took me a long time to get to this point, was I was too scared I couldn't afford it. And that's why I was blocking myself from saying I didn't want this thing. I was telling myself I didn't want that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
it's too big.
Living in lack.
Like who's gonna clean such a big house?
Yeah.
Motherfucking the butler is gonna clean
Yeah,
it.
agreed.
Right? And until I started being real with myself, and I said, "No, you want that. That's a nice shiny object. Yes, that's a nice thing. You
You're
should
allowed
want that.
to.
You're allowed to want
You need
that.
to know that you're
How do I
worthy
get it?
of it.
How do I get it? Right?
Yeah.
So same thing. Nice cars, house on the hills.
Good.
I'm very big on hospitality, so I like throwing like big gatherings, parties, and
It's
stuff
fun.
like that. And that's like my guilty pleasure of hosting. Going to the bar. I'm the
Yeah.
first one there, buying out the shots and stuff like that.
Agreed.
So that's my guilty pleasure. I'm not big on watches, but I'm becoming bigger on watches. So
It's an
Rolex
acquired
is in the
taste.
pipeline. Cars things for sure. I'm always been into cars,
Yeah.
so cars for sure. So all the materialistic things, but the the biggest thing would be like travel experiences. So
Agreed.
with the bar, with like buying up the bar and stuff like that, that is an experience for me. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I enjoy, right? I know I don't get to go home with it the next day, but I enjoyed it.
But it doesn't matter.
Moment. Yeah, and that was a great experience for me.
You know, I struggle with this as well. The word YOLO, you know, like you're saying, I enjoy it, but I don't take it home with me.
Yeah.
Never live life under like with those words YOLO, but you need to be able to enjoy your money that way
Yes.
because you'll work.
Yeah.
You know,
You'll work harder.
Yeah, you put in more effort to do more of it.
Of course.
Because it brings you
And
happiness.
then I've got a daughter now, so I gotta create that foundation for her. Like I want to support her when she's
Yeah.
older as well too, right?
Of course.
And I don't want her to have the same struggle. Actually, I want her to have the same stress, but not the same struggles.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes
because
a lot of
stress
sense.
is growth.
It
you
is.
You need to have the same. Like you need to have a little bit of stress.
Agreed.
But struggles is and I never had any major struggles, right? Family was good, but you know what? You still need to have some type of stress in your life.
Are you giving her money?
I'm gonna give her money if she shows that she deserves it,
Okay.
right? I'm not gonna give her money for no reason.
Yeah, agreed. You know, we were just having this conversation earlier this morning, and kids nowadays don't want to work a full 37 hours. So where do you give the money? When do you give
That's
the money?
fucking 37 hours is part time, by the way.
Right? Yeah, agreed it is. It's part-time.
Yeah.
You know, so when do you say, hey, here's money, here's money, here's
When
money?
they show that they have that
Yeah.
interest
I think
rate.
you have to put them to work at a very young age. Like
I
if
think
you have your own
so.
businesses, like let's say you have your
Yeah.
business and you had a kid, I would put them to work at like 13. Fuck
Yeah.
your old child labor bullshit.
That's
It's
what
my
we
kid. I
did.
want to do what I want to them. I want to raise them in my
yeah.
environment,
Yeah.
right?
Right?
Like I would put them to work and make them earn that money.
Agreed.
Just like how you were put to work
Yeah.
at a young age and you develop this huge work ethic,
Yeah.
right?
Right, and you
so
need it.
things like that. I think I'd be more on the lines of like, you know how people get money for chores?
Yeah.
I think I'd be more along the lines of you read a success book.
Never give money for chores
Yeah.
because you're a family unit.
Yes.
And we all need to run the house together. Those are
Together.
responsibilities.
So whether I
Yeah.
do chores, I'm not going to do chores anyways,
Yeah.
but not for that reason.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do chores. But if you read a success book or self-help book,
Yes.
I'll give you money for that to motivate you.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll just get more motivated.
See, I don't want to put them in a position to use the knowledge they use from the self-help book, and then when they do that, then I would want to. They'd be naturally rewarded by money, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they read a book on how to open a business online, and then they make a couple sales, let's say make $1,000 or like $500.
I would
Yeah.
front them interest free.
Front
Yes.
them, yeah, front them interest
Interest
free.
free.
That would be dope.
All day, all night.
So we've got friends who have 2 kids, and that's what they do with their kids. Do you know those poppets?
yeah.
So they did that probably last summer or the summer before, and now it was oh god, what do you? I know those things.
Rubik's Cubes?
Yeah, Rubik's
Yeah.
Cubes. So they went door to door, cold calling because the wife's a real estate
Amazing.
agent,
Yeah.
Nice.
and the kids went door to door, door
knocking, yeah.
door knocking
Yeah,
to
yeah.
sell Rubik's Cubes.
Awesome.
That's a hustle, man.
That's a good
that's
hustle.
a very
You know?
good parenting
So
style.
Yeah.
sales is
That's-
one of the best
Yeah.
best jobs, not jobs, careers,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call
So
it.
that's what they did.
Best vehicles to make money. One of the best.
Unlimited potential.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you could tell your younger self one piece of advice or change something, what would you say?
Don't be so afraid of literally being your true self.
You battled that.
Oh, I battled that so much.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not supposed to be talking big. You're not supposed to be talking, huge or have big dreams or any
Society,
of that stuff.
I think it's society or culture
Yeah.
that says that.
Right? So you have to keep your mouth shut. And then you're like, fuck, I'm bored here. Like, what am I even sitting in the circle
Yeah.
for?
Yeah.
Right? So
Did your parents have any type of limiting beliefs?
no, you know what? My mom was always very quiet. My dad never had any limiting beliefs. I think it was after you leave home and you meet friends.
Yeah.
They program your brain, right?
Did you live on your own?
No.
Okay.
No. I got married young at 24, and that's when I moved out.
Gotcha.
Right. But it was your circle that you hung out with, because I was an introvert. My dad forced me to get out there and talk to people.
I mean, you seem very good at, you're
Right?
very well spoken, and you're very comfortable around the cameras and the lights
Yeah.
and stuff like that, right? So-
It's because I had 2 hours by myself in the morning.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. So you
Meditating.
got to work on
Yeah,
yourself.
have
Did
my
you
coffee
microdose
by
today?
myself. Pardon?
Did you microdose?
Not today. But you have your coffee by yourself. I have my salt water in the morning. I have that time alone
Yeah.
that can keep me level-headed through
So
everything.
you can perform. Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well,
Yeah.
it was very nice to have you
Well,
on.
thank you
I
guys.
really
This
appreciate
was a pleasure.
it.
We
Thank
appreciate you coming
Yeah.
through, and like, you never know, like even little pieces that we chop up and clip up, how much of an impact it can make. Like I had one video I chopped up and it reached like 40,000
Wow,
people.
amazing.
Yeah, so it's
Absolutely
like, and that
amazing.
information in there was so important about like mental health or whatever it is, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. So who knows, man? Like you're making
You're
an
gonna
impact
inspire
by
a
doing
lot
this.
of
I hope
young
so.
women. I hope. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of one-on-one talking. I never talk about my story on any platform. So this is kind of cool.
Yeah, thank
First
you.
time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very,
Well,
very
yeah,
cool.
thanks
Thank
for
you for
coming.
having me. Thank
Thanks so
you.
much. All right.
Thank